Welcome back to week 30 of the Household of Faith Daily Devotional. This week we're talking about the gift of love. And although love is not listed as a spiritual gift, Paul devoted an entire chapter to it, speaking to the Corinthians in between his talk about the spiritual gifts and going on and talking about orderly worship. Today is Thursday, July 25th, 2019. And I want to read to you from the Passion Translation, 1 Corinthians 13, verses 2 and 3. And it states, and if I were to have the gift of prophecy with a profound understanding of God's hidden secrets, and if I possessed unending supernatural knowledge, and if I had the greatest gift of faith that can move mountains, but have never learned to love, then I am nothing without the pure motives of love. And if I were to be so generous as to give away everything I own to feed the poor, and to offer my body to be burned as a martyr, without the pure motive of love, I would gain nothing of value. It talks about all of the spiritual side, how you can be so gifted and anointed, but if you never learn to love, what good does it do you? You don't have the pure motive of love, so whatever you're doing for other motives. And you know me, I'm always telling you that God is concerned about what motivates you to do whatever it is that you're doing. And here we are seeing that Paul is talking about the generosity, because there are a lot of people who help. And remember last week over the last couple of weeks, we talked about the spiritual gifts and those who are servicing, those who have the ministry of helps, and what actually goes on behind the scenes. The motive, what motivates you to do that? You know, if you're driving people around and picking them up and taking them here and there, whatever. And a lot of people, I know people who do that. They have they say they have the ministry of helps, and they help people, and then most often they complain about whatever it is that they're doing for people. And you know, let's be honest, that sometimes people have a tendency to take advantage of you, and they will abuse your kindness. So you have to be careful about that, because if you're helping people and they're complaining and you're complaining about it, what's your real motivation? Is it for you to be recognized as a good person, as a helper, or, you know, is it truly motivated by love? We all have to struggle with things like that, and we have to come to understand that when you learn, and I love the fact that Paul says, but have never learned to love. And see, yesterday I was talking about choosing to love. Well, you don't have a right to choose, but God will teach us how to love. We have to learn how to love, because it's not automatic. Trust me. You come to trust people. You learn how to trust them. A child learns how to trust you from infancy on up throughout their lives. And when you meet someone new, you go to a new place, you learn how to trust them. You may not like a person, but you can learn to like them if you stop focusing on and looking at what you don't like about them. But what's your motivation? Are you saying that, Lord, I really want to love people the way you tell me that I need to love them? Or are you saying that, Lord, I want to love people the way you love them? Well, let me tell you, it's impossible. It is impossible for us as human beings, even as born-again believers, to love the way God does, because God doesn't look at the bad. He sees the possibilities, the good, and what he put in you. That's the way God sees us. No matter how we behave, he still sees us that way, and he hopes the best for us. That's why his thoughts are so different from the way that we think, and his ways are so contrary to the way that we think that they should be, because we like to tell God how it's supposed to be done based on our human, finite, and minuscule understanding of ourselves and of the universe. We gain nothing of value when we're not motivated purely by love. And there's not a lot of ways for you to learn how to love except to get out there and be willing. You know, I once heard someone say that in order to truly love someone, you have to be willing to be hurt. again and again and again, that didn't appeal to me. And it was probably why I chose to love some people and I chose not to love some people. But God said that's unacceptable. And we have got to learn that in order to love, we have to first look at how we are loved. And I'm not talking about by other people, I'm talking about by God. All right? So tomorrow, we're going to be talking about what love is and what love is not. All right? We'll see you then. Bye-bye.